Is it true?
I think following the link,
Mm.
I may have used that as in a very positive way.
Yeah, right.
But as how the outline the headlines will read it, I think, you know, it is true that way, but it's not as slamming as I mean, if you read if you go into detail, you find out the reason why I used that as an example when I was doing an interview with Itana, with an American media, you know,
Mm.
in the States. Yeah.
Mm. Mm.
So I
Okay.
actually said so, but in a very nice way to advise, all of us as
Mm.
in to look to a positive side of having to want to see dancehall as a violent avenue,
All right.
That's
Okay. So there is this chapter that, this paragraph that I like so much, and it says, according to Stonebwoy, the fight with Shattawale was one of the many that they had at the VGMA, but the first one to be on camera. He even recalled an incident where they fought on an aeroplane. Did you ever fight with Shattawale on the aeroplane?
we have been more than once. I was, like there have been so many incidences,
Yeah.
and I was just recalling one of those. It was like a mean one on that day.
Mm.
But also just, yeah, I recalled it to make people know that many things have happened prior to the VGM, and it's not just like we just got up one day, and it has been heightening. It has been adding up, and therefore the end of it, if we follow that type of thing, is how we're all going to end up some way somehow. And for instance, in following that violent manner, an example is all what we all know about vibes, and how it's unfortunate that it is via that violence, kind of stuff that got him where he is, and we're
Okay.
using that as an example, to be able to stay clean, in these times.
Okay. So I'm interested in knowing what happened on the plane. What was the problem? What happened?
No, it was literally one of those, when there was a lot of tension between both camps, and once upon a time where we all worked with a label, with the same label, or worked on the same label, and we had to go and pay a visit to for, and I was just narrating how tense it was on the flight that day, and I remember saying that it was just left with a click for for everything to go haywire on the plane. And even when we landed, there was when we landed, two of our guards, got at it, because that
Mm.
vibe.
Mm.
To me, it's in the past, but I was only narrating how tense it was and how it leads to something really very not necessary, So that was it.
Interesting, interesting. Well, it's so good that all these things are over now. Now, recently, you and Samini too were at it. You were almost at each other's throats on Twitter. He feels so embittered. It looks like he thinks you have not paid your dues to him.
No, I'm very sorry, but I want to put it well that I wasn't at anybody's throat. It is very, very obvious, coming from you as a godfather of our industry, as a godfather to me personally, with the opportunity given me on your renowned platform. I would beg to say that we were not at each other's throats. We all saw what people can read, people can vibe. I wasn't at his throat.
Yeah.
I rather just moved away from a reaction that he gave to a tweet of mine. To be very, very, very specific and very honest, the tweet had nothing at all to do with the tweet was not even insulting or directed to him in any negative manner. So I wouldn't say that we were at each other's throat, but it is obvious to say that him and Shatta were at each other's throats, so that people can see the differences between, because I know how we all take information. This information is going to travel very far across
Right.
the world because people listen to you.
Yeah.
I was not at his neck.
Yeah, that's true.
He came at me and I moved away.
Yeah. Right.
So if you want a typical example of two people at each other's necks, then it will be him and Shatta several weeks ago on Twitter.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, he thinks that you have not paid your dues to him. He thinks you disrespect him. What do you say?
I am honestly speaking, like I said, he thinks, like you're saying, that I have not. So everybody has the right to think. Everybody has the sole right to think what they want to think.
Right.
But it is not a fact. Even in court, like they say, until proven guilty, you are not guilty. Allegations can be laid. You guys can be going back and forth in court, but until proven guilty. So that is what I would say. He has a right to think what he would think, and that's how I'll leave it. It's not a fact. Yeah.
Interesting. I like that. Now I'm going to why I called you on this show. Now you tweeted about the dreadlocks issue, Achimota dreadlocks issue. The GES and Achimota school are still adamant. They are not ready to take the Rasta boys. Tell me something.
Yeah, it's an interesting issue that I voluntarily just joined the conversation. I think I'd only come back from foreign the same night that I saw that. So if people can follow my tweets all came at dawn. So you realize that I'm still in a different time zone. You know what I mean? And when I saw that, it was very interesting, only to realize also that it is, one of the sons of my own, one of our godfathers too as well, which is Raswad and Krabia. So I got even more interested in the case to get involved in the discussion, to see how it goes. And then, because I also belong to the people who are seen as Rastamen. You know what I mean? Yes. I belong to that squad who are seen as Rastamen. And even aside that, I wanted to see what it is, And when GES came out to say that it is not against the law, neither was it against GES laws or however. I'm just speaking, in
Right.
Yes, I'm just speaking layman terms, So when GES came to say that, I even posted that again on Snap, and I was happy. And I even said on Twitter, I said thanks to GES, because now we all know it is not against the law. So how do we do? Because for a very long time, Rastas have been, treated in a certain kind of way, for a very long time. Aside education, whatever. When you see a Rasta man, I think that it is almost, as if we are, we are all, how do I say this? We are wayward. We are compared to notorious lifestyle, the social vices, you see. So growing up as a ghetto youth, even from that, and I've witnessed several opportunities that we couldn't get because we carried logs and all that. This is a global matter even. It's not just us, There are so many people that are concerned. But we grew to realize that it is not as it is, And if in these times, Rastafarians or people with locks who under certain circumstances cannot or may not be able to trim their hairs and have to continue school with it are not allowed, and it's not against the law.
Okay.
It feels some way,
Okay.
And I realize that the same school has people who have locks, Caucasians who have kept their hair.
Exactly.
Some have locks, and most of them are foreigners.
Yeah.
Sorry to use the word white people, but it feels as if the foreigners are giving some leeway to continue to carry their hair. And I'm not, also not to say that, but I mean, let's just keep it at that. It's rather, I feel like we should do something about it. We want to know the reason why. I would just want to know the reason why, and if the reason is really, really, really that strong, then fine. But when I asked on Twitter what harm it could cause, the conversation was very interesting, and I couldn't get any answer that would immediately take the school into disrepute.
Okay.
So I was like,
Okay. Well, there is nobody has said that the dreadlocks issue is legal. We are still fighting it in court. We just had an interview with the PTA chairman of Achimota School, and it is clear discrimination, and we are looking at it. He said that those students in the school were only there for a short period which could last up to 1 year. Teachers can wear their long hair and all that, but that's another conversation. I'm going to ask you one last question and we are done. I am seeing your photograph on Dancehall magazine in Jamaica, and he has some Arabic tattoo on your left hand. What is it about?
Hey, Ras.
Yeah, sorry. My eyes are sharp.
I mean, it's my name. It's Livingstone. It's
Okay.
Livingstone written in Arabic.
Yeah.
When I found out it's written, when you see it, you literally even see Livingstone.
Yeah.
I mean, that drew my interest to want to just, because I know that I'm a Livingstone.
Okay.
I fetch from that name and it inspires me a lot, so that's how come I have that tattoo on my left arm. And it's written in Arabic, but it means living stone. It's just like the stone that the builders refuse, or strong stone, a living stone. So
Why did you write it in Arabic and not in any other language? I'm interested.
why I wrote it in Arabic and not in any, I don't know if the language does really matter, but I just loved that even in Arabic, it writes as if you're reading Livingstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it's just a simple reason why. It's not too deep. Maybe I should find out the depth behind it, and I'll be proud that I chose it from the shallow point, only to get a deeper meaning to that. So
Okay, it has nothing to do with your Muslim fans. Maybe you wanted to please the Muslim fans as well, and so you have something Arabic.
I mean, it could. I love all my Muslim fans as well, and I believe that many of them would be happy about that as well. That shows you that even as seen to be carrying dreadlocks, as coming from a Christian background, I am also somebody who represent for one and all. So I believe that all my Muslim fans should even tap into this one and see how close I am to them, because I didn't mind putting Arabic on my body.
Wow.
That shows you I don't discriminate.
Okay.
So
Now we just heard and saw the tattoo of your mother behind you. You have a whole tattoo, big tattoo of your mother at your back. True? And what is it about?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, I think so far, my mother is like somebody that I would always revere, and adore, till whenever, So I have her with me every time. I have her with me. So I decided to put it on my body. It was, I think, last year. It was her birthday, and I did the tattoo on her for on my back of her, because I've been wanting to, keep her on me. You know what I mean? Because she has been my fortress, the whole time, and I love her. So it's somebody very dear to my heart. That's why I have a tattoo of her on my back.
I know that you also have a small statue, which we'll call a bust of your mother with you, right?
Yeah.
Are we going to see the statue or the tattoo of your father on your body anytime soon?
Raz, why did you ask? I mean, I love my dad though, but I love my dad,
but not as much.
If it gets there, we'll see. Big ups to all fathers. I'm a father too. I'm a father too, but I understand that the love that the mothers get is more than what we get, so it's okay.
It's okay.
I'm cool.
Final question, and we are done. I know you are quite busy somewhere. Tell me this. Okay. If your daughter grew with locks and you were taking her to Achimota school and you have this kind of issue, what would you do? Would you shave her off, or you change the school, or what?
I think if it gets very difficult, because as much as I wouldn't want to step on anybody's toes, I might just change schools. I mean, to simplify the whole case. But, I think that we as simple as I've answered it, it shouldn't be that case, because we love Achimota School. Achimota School is one of the big schools in Ghana, as much as the Bleos and all. But that's why I'll use the opportunity to even say big respect to Bleo for admitting a few that I see in the news if it is true, you know, and that alone tells me that it doesn't bring any harm. Yeah, like it doesn't bring the school into disrepute. And even in these times, the schools are chosen for. You don't work your ways out. Like maybe you went to pay bribe or something. You know, they learned very hard. And I want to add that this shows you that these students can only add to the great people that have come out of that school.
Exactly.
So if they're given the opportunity and they are not looked at their hair and maybe the excuse of because the foreigner stayed for a shorter period. If a foreigner stayed for a shorter period, I think an indigent can also stay for a longer period. And it's a matter of hair.
Yeah.
This would even go a long way for people to know that, look, they will keep their hairs clean. We have people who have low cuts and don't keep them clean.
Yeah.
So if it's about cleanliness, I believe that it doesn't cut off a reason for me. One of the students was even a school prefect in his JHS.
Yeah.
So you can understand that these are bright kids that are going to be shot in the foot because I know it will hurt them for not getting the school that they chose because they know it's a great, you know what I mean? And in today's world, I'm not asking for people to be loose about and follow because we're in a new world. But if it is their hair, then it's a low blow. And if it doesn't go against the law and GES is asking, I beg all the Achimota top dogs that if they bend on this one and set rules to make sure that the locks are kept clean and the students continue to be good, we will love them even more.
Okay.
We will love them even more, you know.
Stonebwoy Berniton, I want to appreciate you, but before you go, I'm going to put you on the spot. Give me a free a cappella, freestyle of Achimota School and the Rasta issue. Something short.
Yeah, so where they must say about Rasta, I try to cut off Rasta from Achimota. Go tell the pastor. Figure prefer the school when they Achimota. Make all the use them come to and come educate themselves, you know, because it's good to be wiser. Tell them say we don't want to bag around in other place. Tell them to keep the lock so nicer. You don't know enough big up for yourself.
Pow. Wow.